You're standing somewhere completely ordinary, a hallway, a parking lot, a friend's kitchen, and suddenly, a wave hits you. I've been here before, said this exact sentence before, felt this exact moment before, except you haven't. You know you haven't. So what is your brain actually doing when this happens? Deja vu happens to most people at some point. Studies suggest a majority of adults experience it at least once, and for something so common, it's strangely hard to study because it lasts only a few seconds, and you can't exactly trigger it on demand in a lab. But neuroscientists have a handful of genuinely compelling theories, and they reveal something surprising about how your memory actually works and how easily it can glitch. The leading theory treats deja vu as a kind of memory error, specifically a mismatch between two systems in your brain, one that recognizes familiarity and one that recalls actual memories. Normally, these two systems work together. You see a place, your brain checks. Does this match anything I've stored? If yes, you get a feeling of familiarity, and shortly after, you can usually recall why. Oh, right, I've been here before. This is my old street. In deja vu, researchers believe the familiarity signal fires without a matching memory backing it up. Your brain says, this is familiar, but when it searches for the actual memory that explains why, it comes up empty. The result is that unsettling feeling, certainty of familiarity with no evidence to support it. A related theory, sometimes called the Gestalt familiarity theory, suggests deja vu can be triggered by a partial match, not the whole scene, but a specific fragment of it. In one well-known study, researchers used virtual reality to build scenes that shared a similar spatial layout to scenes participants had seen earlier, without the scenes being obviously identical. Even though people didn't consciously recognize the layouts as similar, many still reported a deja vu-like feeling. The theory: your brain can register that a new place has the same underlying structure as somewhere you've been. Same layout of furniture, same shape of a room, even when you can't consciously say what's similar. That mismatch between "this feels structurally familiar" and "I can't place why" is what deja vu might actually be built from. Some of the strongest evidence for what's happening physically comes from an unexpected source: people with temporal lobe epilepsy. Some patients experience intense deja vu right before a seizure, which allowed researchers to actually observe brain activity during the sensation using implanted electrodes. These studies point to the temporal lobe, particularly regions involved in memory processing like the rhinal cortex, as the source. When these areas are stimulated artificially, some patients report an instant vivid deja vu sensation, even though nothing in their surroundings has changed. This suggests deja vu isn't really about the outside world triggering a memory. It may be your memory system briefly misfiring on its own, and your brain constructing the "I recognize this" feeling almost after the fact. One consistent finding across studies: deja vu happens more often in younger people and becomes less frequent as we age, which is the opposite of what you'd expect if it were simply a memory glitch, since older adults generally have more memory lapses, not fewer. The leading explanation ties back to brain maintenance. Younger brains have a more actively firing memory checking system, constantly comparing new experiences against stored ones. As this system's efficiency naturally changes with age, misfires like deja vu may become rarer, not because memory improves, but because the specific mismatch mechanism behind deja vu happens less often. So deja vu probably isn't a glimpse into a parallel life or a memory from a dream. It's more likely a small, harmless hiccup in the very system your brain uses to make sense of what's new and what's familiar. A brief moment where recognition fires before the memory that should explain it catches up, which, if anything, is a reminder of how much work your brain is doing under the surface, every single second, just to make the world feel coherent. If your brain doing weird things fascinates you as much as it fascinates me, subscribe. New one of these every week.